Hi there. I just wanted to quickly go through my 5x5 presentation that I gave down at the Australian Physiotherapy Transform Conference on what is the role of physical activity in penile rehabilitation post-prostatectomy. And so this study came about while working with Bob. Bob was told a radical prostatectomy would be his best treatment course, but he wasn't actually a candidate to have one due to numerous comorbidities. And so I worked with Bob for a number of months. And during that time, Bob was quite excited to know that his erectile function had improved. I was a bit down a week or two out from the operation because he knew that he was going to lose his newly refound erectile function again. And so he asked me, will this help me afterwards? And I kind of went, of course it would. But I was interested to know what the literature had to say. And so the aims of the study were to determine the benefits physical activity has on erectile function post-prostatectomy and to determine the optimal dosage. And so what do we currently know? Well, we know that a systematic review by Silver in the 2016 British Journal of Sports Medicine showed that with a non-prostatectomy group, physical activity and exercise interventions improved patient-reported erectile dysfunction, particularly aerobic exercise of moderate to vigorous intensity. And why is all of this important? Well, we know that erectile dysfunction is a key factor in increasing psychological distress amongst men undergoing prostate cancer treatment. It can also be an important consideration when choosing a treatment journey. Currently, the definition of penile rehabilitation does not include physical activity or exercise in its definition, despite equivocal evidence that pharmaceutical agents actually change or enhance the penile tissues. There's some evidence that chronic doses of PDE5 inhibitors, as opposed to on demand, when started before surgery, can improve penile rehabilitation. But these medication regimes are often poorly tolerated due to side effects, because it's hard to, let's face it, it's hard to stay on the job when your nose is dripping like a tap. You've got tears streaming down your face and you've got a cracking headache. So the study involved reviewing the literature for studies that listed physical activity and or exercise as an intervention for improving erectile function post-prostatectomy. This included as either a single treatment arm or in conjunction with another treatment up until November 2018. The initial research result netted 1,281 results. And when filtering through these, those that happened to be a clinical trial were nearly always based around pharmaceutical interventions, PDE5s, injections, etc. While only 7 studies were found regarding pelvic floor muscle training as an intervention. So as you can see, not a single study has been published investigating the effects of physical activity on recovery of erectile function post-prostatectomy. To date, nearly all the research is focused on PDE5 inhibitors, penile injections, and or vacuum devices. This is despite physical activity being shown to be effective in improving erectile dysfunction in other populations, with 2 systematic reviews showing favourable outcomes for physical activity as a treatment option. So it's been shown that during the surgical process, even with a nerve-sparing operation, there is a neural traction injury to the neurovascular bundle. This results in tissue hypoxia, decreased nitric oxide release, and epithelial apoptosis, and eventually possible fibrosis of the tissues. This sequence of events leads to erectile dysfunction, which is reported in the literature to return in 6 to 24 months' time post-operatively, although this isn't always the case and potency is often reduced. The systemic defects of exercise have been well documented and can be seen on screen. Studies have shown increases in endothelial function in non-surgical men with erectile dysfunction who have begun an aerobic training program. Exercise also increases serum testosterone, which assists with erectile function in numerous ways, including reducing fatty infiltration into the smooth muscles. With these positive effects being systemic, it can be reasonably argued that by increasing physical activity, particularly aerobic fitness, men who have undergone radical prostatectomy may have better outcomes in relation to their erectile dysfunction than those who remain inactive. So in conclusion, it's clearer than ever that we need further research into this area of practice to determine both the effects and optimal dosages of physical activity on erectile function post-prostatectomy, given the systemic defects of physical activity on blood vessels and muscles. Physical activity should be prescribed to assist in erectile recovery post-prostatectomy. Recommendations for physical activity should begin with the recommendations for non-prostatectomy populations, which mimic the National Physical Activity Guidelines and those in the cost of position statement on exercise in cancer care, which is that all people with cancer should participate in at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise each week, as well as 2 to 3 resistance exercise sessions. Thank you for listening, and I'd love for you to drop me a line below and let me know what you think, and if you've got any ideas of ways that we could start to formulate a few studies in the area. Something I'm really interested in and would really like to get cracking on something around this area, because I think it's a huge area for us physios, and I think we could definitely help out a lot of men undergoing prostate cancer surgery. So thanks again for listening, and yeah, feel free to be in touch. Thanks.